Hello, my name is Joel. Welcome to When the Smoke Clears. I just wanted to say hi to everybody and thank you for joining in my podcast. I wanted to go through, just kind of touch today a little bit about Chapter 7 in the NA book, which is Recovery and Relapse. And my podcast I always like to start with a moment of silence and followed by the serenity prayer for the addict who still suffers and for all of those in recovery and who are still in, out there. So again, a moment of silence, if you will. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Alrighty. Well, again, welcome to When the Smoke Clears. I want to start off by just gonna start off by reading a little bit of the chapter 7 in the NA book. There you go. So. Read the first part of the Recovery and Relapse, Chapter 7, right here. So, it says here, many people think that recovery is simply a matter of not using drugs. They consider a relapse a sign of complete failure, and long periods of abstinence a sign of complete success. We in the recovery program of Narcotics Anonymous have found that this perception is too simplistic. After a member has had involvement in our fellowship, a relapse may be the jarring experience that brings about a rigorous application of the program. By the same token, we have observed some members who remain abstinent for long periods of time, whose dishonesty and self-deceit still prevent them from enjoying complete recovery and acceptance within society. Complete and continuous abstinence, however, is a close association and identification with others in NA groups is still the best grounds for growth. And I just wanted to kind of touch on that particular subject because, the program that I'm currently in is a program with veterans who have who were addicted and are addicted and are homeless have come through this program. And this is what this program is about. But I just wanted to bring that subject up because I was sitting out in the smoking pit area today. And I could hear people, there's conversations, and a lot of the conversations were about, going out and using, and what would you do if you left and were presented with this, with the opportunity to use again or drink again and that sort of thing, and some of them, some of the guys were just, listening. Some of them were putting their input that they probably would use, and some were like, well, I don't know, da da da. But the reality is that recovery, and in recovery, relapse is always gonna be there. That relapse is like your shadow. When you're walking and you have a shadow, relapse is always right next to you. He's never gonna leave you ever. Just remember that. So with that in mind, always know that it just takes one time for you to use, and you're going to go back to the same spot that you were in. It's not going to give you, you're not going to go back to that same, the first time you used that euphoric feeling that you first got. No, not going to happen. What's going to happen is that you're going to go back to exactly the same spot, the same feeling that you felt when you were at your freaking worst. And unfortunately, it's not going to get any better if you continue to use. It will get worse than when you left it. And for a lot of members and people in the program, and just for people who aren't in the program, and they maybe have stopped on their own, and they got triggered to use again, and they know that when you use again, things are never better. That's for sure. There's never a positive outcome when that happens. It's always going to be a negative outcome, and never has it ever been good. That a good thing when people relapse, because they are presented with another traumatic experience that allows them to go back and use. And so, based on my personal experience, I used alcohol and drugs since I was a little kid, and it continued through my adult life. And yeah, there were periods of that journey that I used heavy, and there were periods of the journey that I didn't use at all. And I relapsed, and nonetheless, the pattern continued that I kept going back to it. And not until I got reintroduced into a 12-step program, and started understanding that my pattern wasn't because just bad things were happening in my life, and I was getting dealt this bad hand at cards, at life cards, and it was just my luck. No, it wasn't that. It's just that I started understanding that I'm living a life with a disease I didn't know I had. And so with the experiences of that I got, my experiences led me to relapsing time and time again. By the grace of God, was able to enter a treatment program for the second time in my life. Well, actually the third time in my life. And it reopened these thoughts in my mind that I could remember learning this stuff way back when I was, when I first got introduced to the program. And you're talking a span of, from the first time I was introduced to a 12-step program, I was 18 years old. And, fast forward to now, I mean, gosh, that's, a heck of a lot of time in between. I'm 55 years old now, and I recently went through a 60-day rehab program. So that rehab program cleared my head, where I started remembering, the highs and lows of the addiction, and where the addiction led me. And every time I used, it led me to the dark place. It led me to losing things. It led me to not giving a shit. It led me to, hating the world in a sense, and hating myself. And I felt, that I was better off if I just stayed there and used. And I know that was just, it's part of the darkness, and it's part of the deceit and the deception that the alcohol and drugs does to a person's mind. And those things, and then all the negativity that you surround yourself with when you're in full blown use it grounds you down to stay in the darkness. And by the grace of God, I was able to get to this treatment center, and I was able to, slowly, day by day, staying sober, because I'm in a structured environment, and it cleared my mind. And then the things that they teach you, and the things that I started relearning, I was able to, really understand the concept of the program, and really understand the damage of the disease. And there's no cure for the disease, which is excuse my language, it's a fucked up thing, because since there's no cure, and they tell you that there's no cure, you seem like something, that you can be like, man, if there's no cure, then I'm fucked. How do I get better? And here's the thing, is that in the NA book and the AA book, it tells you that addicts help other addicts stay sober in recovery by giving what they've got away. And what that means is that because I went through all this stuff, and I went through these programs, and I'm able to stay clean because of the stories, and because of the truthfulness and open-mindedness and the willingness that I have to have in order for me to stay clean and sober. And I have to stop lying to myself, and I have to stop pretending that I can lead a productive life on my own, because my track record shows that you're not doing it. So the percentages of the people who have gone through the programs, whether it's a Narcotics Anonymous program, whether it's an Alcoholics Anonymous program, there's many different 12-step programs out there. But if you stay engaged and you work those programs, the chances of you staying clean and sober are 100%. Because now there hasn't been not one person relapse that stayed with the program and attended the meetings and got involved in the service work, got involved in doing videos, or doing reading on the daily basis. If you keep yourself engaged in the program and in your spiritual realm, everybody in who has stayed the program and stayed the course and have stayed sober, they all have one thing in common, that they all stayed connected to the program. It's in one fashion or another, and they had a spiritual connection with their higher power. Those two things are inedible. You have to have those two things for you to really truly say that, hey, you know what? I'm leading a life that I love. I'm happy. I feel it, and I express it in the things that I do. And it's hard to describe the feeling. You know what I mean? It's hard to describe the feeling. For those of you who are sober and have been sober for a good while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But for the new guy, for the new girl who is just listening in and who is struggling and who is at the in that dark place, let me let you know that that dark place is just a facade. It's a fake place. All those voices that you hear telling you that you're not worth shit, that you're not going to amount to anything, that this is the end of your life, this is where you stop right here. This is it. This is it for you. I'm here to tell you that is false. I'm telling you by someone who has been there, someone who has experienced that darkness. And trust me, I still experience the darkness. I experience the darkness in the dreams that I have. I experience the darkness in just moments when I'm just thinking, when I'm by myself. Those thoughts never stop. But what I do know is that I'm able to recognize those things and start to incorporate something positive when I do start, getting into those modes. And for me, it's, picking up this book and start reading it, or picking up my Bible and start reading it, or calling somebody and just start engaging in a conversation about, my feelings, or, or go and attend a meeting, and or I'll just watch a couple of videos of other folks' podcasts and stuff. And for me, that keeps me engaged. That keeps me reminded of where I came from and where I'm at. So just know that recovery is a beautiful thing, and you are beautiful. And that's what we need. More people in recovery who can feel what we feel, who want what we have. And it's out there for you. You just have to, unfortunately, this is not something that is just going to land on your lap. You know what I mean? Because, when you're out there doing the drugs and doing the alcohol, it just don't land on your lap. You have to go out there and get it. You know what I mean? You got to go out to the store to buy it. You have to go and do some work or do a couple of licks to go get your shit. I know about that. And the thing is, with recovery and being happy is also a work in progress. You have to do the legwork to attain that. It's not something that you're just gonna get one day, because it just don't work that way, unfortunately. But there are ways to get to that, and there are ways to help you get there. And one thing is for sure, that you're not going to get there on your own. Okay? So find a meeting, find someone that is sober and knows about the program, someone that you can trust, someone that you can, that you feel comfortable talking to. I mean, like I always say, give me a call, shoot me an email, and if it means that I have to, go and, somewhere where you're at, I'll go to talk to you and to share with you what I know and what I do. And it is if a phone call, always. If you're in another state, in another city from where I'm at, I mean, I give out my number at the end of my podcast, and I don't mind giving it out to help somebody. If you need to talk to somebody, man, I'll stay on the phone with you. I'll see what I can do. And if you're in San Antonio, Texas, man, I mean, I'll wheel my way over there. I'm currently in a wheelchair, so I mean, however I can get there, man, I'll get there. And if I can't get there, I'll know somebody who can. Somebody who can drive me that way, or regardless of how it happens, I can guarantee you that I'll help you. And so just know that I'm here, that I care for you, that I care that if you want to get out of that rut, if you want to get out of that darkness, I mean, you got a friend here, and I won't turn you away, and I'll do what I can to navigate you to the right resources and to the right people to talk to get you the help. So being the first thing is always admitting, and that's the hardest thing, to admit that you are in trouble, that you have this trouble with drinking or doing drugs, and that you need help. You see, a lot of people don't want the help. They think that they can do it, and some people are just too prideful. Because I've been there, I've done that shit, and every time I think I got it, I don't. It's just never been a time that I could get it for a minute. Now I was sober after my first rehab. I was sober for 9 years after that, and man, I tumbled hard. after I relapsed. So I know I've been there, man. I've been to that dark place. I've been in the motels. I've been in the street, on the fucking park benches, behind the buildings, in the cardboard boxes, in the tents. I've been in all that shit, and I know how it is. And but I also know how to get out of it. You know, God graced me with that, you know, luxury that I'm able to help somebody else get out of there. You know, I can show you where the ladder's at, but it's going to be up to you for you to climb out. And you know, just like my the old I like to say a buddy of mine. I really don't know the guy. I know him, but I don't know him. But I always enjoyed his stories when he shared, because he always touched me with the shit that he said, because it was real. And you know, it was an alumni over at Lifetime Recovery, Greg, and he always said, you know, he always said it in his meetings, in the meetings that he talked his story there, and at the alumni meetings, and you know, he said, he'd always say, if nothing happens, then nothing happens. And that's right on the money, man. If you do nothing, then nothing's gonna happen. So you can talk a lot of things, you can think a lot of stuff of how you want this and how you want to get out of that or whatever. But if you don't do the legwork, my brothers and sisters, I pray for you. But I'm giving you, I'm showing you where the first rung on that ladder is. And it's attending the meetings, it's finding a meeting, it's finding someone who's in recovery and talk to them. It's calling my number, sending me an email, sending me a text messages. I'm showing you where the first rung is. So if you want to get out of that dark hole, take a hold of that first rung that I'm sharing with you, and I will gladly show you where the light's at. And I guess that's all I got for today, for this episode. And again, next for I like to always share my number and my email, and a couple of places that you can get to a meeting. Again, my number is 210-279-2619. Shoot me a call, text. You need help, I got you. 210-278, I'm sorry. 2619. 278-2619. My email is joelscorpflow@gmail.com. That's JOELSCORPFLO@gmail.com. And again, the meetings, you got the Esperanza group in the west side, downtown. Great set of folks out that way. You got the Winners Club in the northwest end of town. You got Club 12 in the north central part of town. And you got the Goliath group, the southeast side of town. All these places, I know folks in every single one of these places. They're all good folks there, man. They're not going to turn you away. They're going to show you the love. I guarantee you they will. If you need help, they'll got you. So just, you know, reach out, Google their location, and, you know, get to a meeting, you know, talk to somebody. And, I'll, you know, till the next time of When the Smoke Clears, good night, and we'll see you.